Hello, everyone, to the latest Nitro race in the Cup Series, which was at Texas Motor Speedway, and I felt pretty good coming into this race because I felt like I had this race won last season, and then some unfortunate leg situations had occurred on late restart. This race was 165 laps. Stages were 40, 40, 85. And actually had a decent qualifying spot. Didn't have draft at all during the qualifying session, but we ended up qualifying P6, I believe. And here we are for the start of the race. I learned quickly that the outside was horrible, like it is at most mile-and-a-half tracks. Started P6, but it was almost more of a curse to start there because we go into turn one, and then I'm just going to start getting freight trained here. And Jay gets under me, and then with the pack clumped up like it is, I knew I was in trouble at this point because the outside has no chance here, really. Sometimes you can make it work in 1 and 2 and pass someone on the outside, but 3 and 4, there's not a chance. But yeah, just hopefully can find a hole pretty quickly here, but it took to like lap 5 here, skipping to lap 5 here, and I did eventually find a hole and ended up getting back up to 6 after falling to like 10th or something like that. And we had a new like pit road rule for this race, which was you had to use the apron in 3 and 4 just to hopefully reduce pit road incidences. And coming to lap 7 here, and we go into turn 1, and then Jay slides up the track a little bit, and then we're able to get under him, and then I see Cobra here getting a little tight too, so I was like, maybe you can get a run down, but the run is here, and we are able to catch up to him, but this shuts the door and can't really do much. But a couple laps later, I get a run off turn 2 again and able to get under him. The only issue I really have with Texas is that you're tight everywhere except for one spot, and that's off turn 4. And turn 4 here is really weird because it just breaks loose on you randomly, and it's basically like every lap after a few laps on the tires, and it's just really hard to manage it, and have to do a lot of wheel work on the exit of turn 4. So at this point, we move up to P4, but a few laps later, fell down to P5 and got super loose off there, just like I was explaining, and then went for a little expedition through the grass. And then Andrew and then Master Killer here are passing me on the outside because I'm just trying to gather it back up. And I hit the apron to make my situation even worse, and makes my car even more upset. And I get loose off turn 2 as well, and then the 88's going to get a bit of run down the backstretch on me. And then a little later, I think this is actually like the lap later, I had a bad 3 and 4 as well, and the 88 of Libert and the 14 of Mahu also get under me. And it's all going bad at this point. And got a little run down against Mahu here, but it doesn't matter because in 3 and 4 there's really no chance, but he didn't get a good center there either, so able to kind of hang with him, and he gets a little loose, and I'm like hoping, oh, can I get enough of a run here to get in front of him, but I couldn't. And Combat did something weird with his preset. He went like too higher than we intended to, and he was paying the consequences on this first long run of the race. And then I get 3 wide, and then I hit Combat, and I'm all over the road, and everyone's hitting me, but somehow we all keep it straight. And I was just in a weird situation with being 3 wide and knowing Combat's really off the pace and stuff. And then you can see the 4 there was pitting. And then here, people were pitting, and then somehow the 9 was flipping through the air, and then this is going to cause a caution. And then, but it wasn't this lap because it was kind of a late call. So we had to go around another lap, and I somehow ended up in 5th after this. And then the 88 somehow was having an issue. I don't know what happened there. And then Jay got stopped up inside that mess, and then I'm able to pass him. And I end up in P3 all of a sudden from like 10th a lap ago. It was a wild lap to get back to the caution. But we end up bringing it across the line in P3 for this yellow flag. At this point, we are able to start putting the setup in. And Ended up restarting P5 here based on the choose cone, and then here we are taking the green flag of this restart. Just a reminder, stages in this race were 40, 40, 85. So this stage ends when we hit 41. And then this is like 10 to go in the stage or something like that, if I remember correctly. I just don't have the lap counter up because I'm looking at relative for some reason on a restart. But yeah, I was able to get inside Rocket here and would end up being in P3 after 3 or 4 or 1 or 2 here because the inside is everything, and I was a little loose there, so the setup was not fully in at this point, so it was a little looser than I wanted it to be. And I go into turn 3, and some reason it just did not turn, and I was like, oh my god, I look like an idiot, and I'm just like, oh no, I'm just throwing my stage away and everything, because I had like third lockdown at this point, right? And I'm about to lose 2 spots here probably with the Rocket getting by me and Mahu right behind him, so there's not really a hole to fall into. So I was like, I was more worried about falling to like 10th with a giant single file line. Then Rocket gets in the wall, I get slowed up, and I'm like, I got to cut down right now. But maybe it could get on Rocket, but no, I couldn't. And then Jay's in 6. He needs stage points too with this playoff situation. But we're skimming to the end of the stage because we were able to pull away from Jay. And then kind of just riding. Don't really have a run on Rocket, so pretty much at this point you're just riding at this point to the end of the stage. And actually hit Rocket a little bit, but not really have any opportunity to pass him here. So he's going to get a couple stage points, and I'll bring it home in stage 1 in 5th place. So I was happy with it. Get a stage point. Stage points are always nice, you know. So we're going to jump to the next restart. I ended up P7. Gave up a decent amount of time on the a decent amount of positions on the choose cone just because inside is everything. And then the 88 didn't really get going, so we were able to pass 2 cars real quick. Then Andrew was able to slip in behind us. And then Rocket got on the apron a bit, but he was all right. And then good thing we were able to get in a single file line here, and then jumped up to level lap 45. It gets tight on me. Andrew slips it in there, and then got like a little net code thing there, and shoved Gary up even more. And then it's all bad for me and Gary. It just didn't turn, and then Andrew took the opportunity there, and then a couple laps later, Liver gets in the wall, and I had nowhere to go, and I'm basically stopped, and I fallen down to 14th, but those two were so slow after the contact. I was able to get back to 13th and finally get to the bottom. And then lap 47 here, just riding behind Durham, and all of a sudden Master just takes a hard left. He's claiming that he had a screen freeze, so that it was very bizarre to say the least, having like a screen freeze thing there, and then he like pulls out of the way bizarrely as well. That whole incident was just really bizarre, and I was like, what the hell happened, right? It was crazy. But we have moved our way up to 9th at this point on lap 55, and the field's kind of spreading out. We have low draft, so it was kind of weird. With the low draft, it's just like packs weren't that much faster, and get a little loose there. Sorry of the night. But we were racing it back to a caution there, so nothing really to show. I don't even remember what that caution was for, to be honest. But on this restart, lap 60, so had a decent restart. Didn't allow anyone in, so that's always optimal. And then there's the Andrew and the 9 and the fails in the 24 were having a moment, and I was able to. And Rocket was lagging. People were climbing, so we told him to go to the back, and he was like, all right. And then Andrews were up way high here, but we're going down the turn 3 and 4, and I'm saying a lot, but I know it's a thing I do, and hopefully the more I do this, it'll get better. But fallen to 6th place, not fallen, climbed up to 6th place here. My car on the short run was really, really, really tight. And then Christian just moving fails the very first chance he gets. Is the most Christian move I've seen pretty much all race at this point. But him moving him actually slowed him up a bit, and I was able to get a run to his inside and able to fight for 4th here. And we're going to be side by side, but I'll get him in 1 and 2 here just because how the track works and the game works. So he basically has no chance at this point. And yeah, like I was saying, my car was so tight on the short run, but after like 5 laps, I was as fast as anyone. But just can never, on a restart, just can never get to the point where I could get to the leaders. And lap 69, nice. Always critical to announce the nice lap, right? But we're going to jump even further to lap 74. Andrew's able to get the 5th, and then he's got to run. And I kind of just let him have it here because he was able to run me down. So I thought it'd be wiser to get behind him and see if we can catch these leaders, because I was able to stay even with them, but you just can't do anything because everyone was so even this race. I think it's just hard to make up ground where you're on throttle so much, and I kind of just cut off Christian there. I wasn't going to let him have it because lately I don't think he's been racing with a ton of respect. But coming to lap 78 to 79, going down in here, and then off turn 4, Christian hits the apron. I look under him, and he completely cuts me off and throws me in the grass to give me no choice to other than get off the gas. But we were able to get past the 24 coming to the end of the stage, and I was in a 4-wheel drift, and he had nowhere to go, so that was unfortunate for him. And then that was the end of stage 2, and it came in 6th place in stage 2. And here's the start of stage 3, and I was caught sleeping on this restart and let 2 people in, and I was pretty embarrassed about myself at that one. I was asleep, and I guess that happens sometimes. And then there was a huge checkup into 1 and 2, and that was happening all night on restarts just because everyone wants to get to the bottom and just hold it because it's just so valuable. And my restart is just even worse because I let Blake in. So I've let 3 people in on the outside, and I have no idea what I was doing at this point. It was pretty embarrassing to say the least. And then Blake not able to hold a straight line, and I get stuck to his bumper and screws me over. And then Rocket's having a little lag dance here, but I am able to fall in. Then we jump to lap 90, and Blake is holding us up. And then here he goes, blocking all the way to the apron. Just letting you know there's 75 laps left in this race, and he is blocking to the apron already for 6th place, I think. And you can see all the ground we're losing. And this was just not cool. He's blocking like he's racing for the win, and just racing like a clown. But at this point, I wasn't surprised. And look at this. And he's chopping off the 24. And let's just say everyone in the Toyota party that was back here was pretty annoyed. And basically, we all had the same idea. If we got under him, he was going to the wall. But Rocket gets a little loose off turn 4, and then hits him through the grass. And let's just say no one was complaining, and everyone was honestly kind of cheering at this point because the road, honestly, the 21 being a roadblock was ridiculous and very uncalled for, to be honest. And I get loose and almost went for a mowing the lawn tactic. But Jay decided not to go on the outside because he thought he was going to. Oh no, that was a caution. I'm sorry, guys. But here we are on a restart on lap 96. And then I was kind of sleeping on that one. I could have been closer, but I didn't let anyone in this time at this point yet. So, and then they were checking up off too, so we were gaining a lot of time here. But obviously, was just gonna ride around at this point because still a long way to go, and we just jumped up to lap 102, and you can see I'm 9th, and there's no one behind me because we have a 9-car pack for the lead, basically. And I think everyone at this point was kind of content with just riding around and not doing anything crazy. So I was content with riding too. So we're not gonna show a lot of the race here because not much happens here, and everyone actually eventually gets spread out. As you see, we jumped to lap 123. I've moved up to 6, and the pack is a little spread out. And I have gotten pretty loose at this point, so I was nervous at this point. And then lap 125, I'm going to come to pit, and then Rocket spins out, and I have nowhere to go, and we both spin out, and that's going to bring out the caution. So that was really unfortunate because I was like, all right, it's time to pit, and then I literally had nowhere to go because that was just really awkward and unfortunate, and we had to go around a whole nother lap, and I was scared that we were going to run out of gas because I was like, oh man, I'm going to run out of gas. This sucks, you know. But we did not run out of gas, but we had to restart in the back in P14, and we have 35 to go at this stage. So everyone must stop if it goes green all the way. And I don't have the best restart, but I wasn't worried because I knew the checkups were going to come, and we'll be right back up there. And you'll see that we do eventually catch them about a lap later. So lap 132, Durham slides up high into 3 and 4, and we jump under him. I got a nice run on LCS, but he's able to defend it a bit. But he slides up, and I'm able to get under him a little, show my nose. And then Libert hits the grass, and he gets loose. LCS has a terrible entry, and the 21 as well. And I'm able to gain a couple, 3 spots in one turn. And then the 4 gets tied in 1 and 2, so I'm able to get a run down the back on him. So we've gone to from 13th to 9th in a matter of a lap here. And from in a matter of like 2 laps, I've gone from 14th to 9th. And then Matt didn't get the best exit, and I knew I couldn't waste any time at this point to get to the lead pack, because if they get away, that's it for me. And I get under Matt here. So basically, we gained back all the ground we pretty much lost, because as long as I was with the lead pack, I was fine with where I was running. Because if you're in the pack, you got a chance, right? And then at this point at lap 136, the Toyota teammates could not believe I made it through the field that fast, and they were like, "What the hell were you doing?" And I was making my car actually looser throughout the race, just because in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, besides the exit of 4, it was just too tight for my liking, and it was feeling really good. So, and then Jay gets a little tight, doesn't get the best exit, and then I make the move to his inside. And I'm able to move up into the 6th position, making up some good ground. But at this point, even in Mahu, we're starting to gap us. And yeah, got up to 6th, and then we move up to lap 145, still in 6th, just riding in this line, trying to see if we can catch them. And Andrew here hit the apron big time, and it just killed him. He just turned right, and yeah, he said there was nothing he could do. He tapped the apron and he shot up right to the wall, and that was bizarre. So we've now moved up into 5th place at lap 145. And at this time, it's more like go time, because I was like, we ain't going to catch him by riding in a line and drafting him. So I make a move to the inside to try to pass Cobra, and I will eventually pass him for 4th place here. So I wasn't really too sure what to do at this point, because they're too far ahead to make anything really happen, and I don't think I'm fast enough at this point. So we're going to jump up to lap 150. I've lost some ground. At this point, I've gotten really, really loose. So I had a terrible exit, and so Cobra was able to get inside of me there. I'm going to try to fight this, because, it's late in the race, but just too loose at this point in the run. And lap 150 here, and then lap 152 here. 24 has not the best center, and when I checked up there, it upset my car, and it got loose on me, and I hit the wall, so I fall in the 6th. And at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna pit early, get in some clean air, get some tires or whatever I decide to do. Yeah. So I'm going to short pit, and I was pretty nervous because every time we've gone to pit stops, there's been a caution for incidents. So, and the new rule we have is you have to stick on the apron in 3 and 4 of when you pit, so we can try to reduce incidents. It didn't really work as intended today, because the incidents happened on the apron. But I decided to take a half a can in right sides, and then I was going to tighten up the car because it was getting so loose. And the stop was fine, no speeding. You also have to use the apron on the exit of 1 and 2 as well at all tracks that are applicable for this. And we come out in P12 at this point. Then we jump up to lap 162, and the green flag pit stops have cycled through basically, and we are now in P5. And even risked it by taking no tires, even though he was in the lead, but he thought he can make it. The right rear could make it, so it was a pretty risky move by him, but hopefully it works out for him. And then coming to the white flag, I'm in 5th, and Combat's right behind me at this point. And a couple of people did the no tires, and Jay was one of them right in front of me, and he was in P4. But Even was able to make his right rear last, and he had a really, really good car today, and he was very dominant and led a lot of laps and won a stage, and he was able to come around and win at Texas Motor Speedway for his first win of the season. And I get really loose. I hit the wall, and then I decide to park it right in the middle of the track to block Combat, and we'll bring it home P5. But I was pretty happy with the result of P5. I didn't have the short run speed today in this race, and I needed like 5 laps before the car really came in, and And then there's all chaos post race. But I was pretty happy with the P5 here. And next week is Dover, the one track I did win at last season, even though it was fuel mileage. So, but Dover is always a fun track to drive because it's kind of a driver's race track. But I was happy with the result we had here. P5. The race was actually pretty clean, besides a few things, and I was happy with the race quality overall. But yeah, next week is Dover, and that's gonna be a pretty wild race. And if you guys enjoyed it, feel free to like, subscribe, and even follow me on Twitch, where I stream all these races live, so you can see what happens in the races live and stuff. So if you guys enjoyed it, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya!